Sure.
Very close. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, working.
Yeah, so maybe a few things. So this is my notes I've put out today. I'm going to start with this one. And then I'll go to the levels on the 10-year yield. And it looks busy, but it's pretty basic. This navy line here is the 10-year yield.
Yeah, it's
The red-
decisively broken 4.3, right? Yeah.
The red moving average is the 50-day.
Oh,
And you'll see, since the S&P peak in 22, the breakout in yields in early 2022, typically when you've broken below the 50-day, that's marked by the vertical blue line.
oh,
So after an uptrend in yields, when you first break below that 50-day, you tend to see a rally of at least 10% in the S&P. This was the only one that actually resulted in new lows. But the one that you had in November 22 and the one that you had in November 23 had gains of 13 and 20% respectively. We did get quite a bit of volatility over the last 2 months. So as we've had the monthly economic data through, you've had some dovish data, you've had some hawkish data. So you've actually had one buy signal that was quickly followed by a sell signal, and just using the 50-day as the signals. And then this week, and I'll jump to the details of that chart, we actually saw a rebound on the employment numbers that failed below the 50-day. And then with the Fed meeting, we've had the reversal below the 50-day. So we've got a conclusive break of the 50-day is the point here.
oh, that's great. That's great.
But what we haven't seen happen like we have in the past is a rally in the rest of a broader market. So for
The
example,
2000, right? Yeah, Russell.
Well, Russell 2000 hasn't broken out. So, when we had the break of the 50-day in November last year, you had a strong rally in the Russell
Yes.
2000. This is still range bound. And if I look at breadth reading, so this is the percentage of stocks above the 200-day for the S&P. With the new all-time highs this week, you've had a lower percentage of stocks above the 200-day. So again, you haven't had this improvement in breadth. And even if I go to the NASDAQ, which had Apple breakout this week, we go to the NASDAQ breadth. This I highlighted last week as the first time you've had divergence in breadth since the October 22 lows. Now, I mean, the one point that I'd make about these breadth readings that, yes, it's a sign of maturity.
Yeah.
It typically happens towards the end of the move. But, if you look at the last 6 years, the 2008 divergence took 10 months before you had a 20% decline. The divergence into COVID, and we can argue that was an event, but that was still 3 months. The divergence into the January 22 high took 9 months. So this is not a timing tool, but what you tend to see happen is momentum continues to work. So don't look at laggards as bars.
I see.
Momentum works. And this is the other thing that I highlight in this note. This is the iShares Momentum ETF, which you can see broke out this week with the market. So just to show you, Eli Lilly's in this basket.
Exactly. That was why I couldn't explain Lilly last night. And then Novo wasn't on it. Oh, I didn't know there's a momentum ETF.
So if you look at Lilly's the third biggest weighting in that ETF at 5.7%.
Oh, all right. I see. Yeah, and it's the only mega pharma. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other.
Also, momentum had a breakout. The ETF had a breakout, right?
The ETF, so the stocks with the best 12-month performance broke out.
And
the other factor that's been breaking out is quality.
Yeah.
And again, if we just look at the constituents here.
Lilly's in there as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense now. That was why it was the only greed last night at the open.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on?
So Lilly's fourth biggest weighting in the quality basket.
Perfect. Okay, that's very helpful.
So maybe one thing I'll just scroll down to finish off on the 10-year yield.
Yes. Because I was going to ask about the XLV and XBI shortly.
So that's the 10-year, and just zooming in here, that's the 50-day. and that's this week's test and failure. Now we're back below 4.33. You're basically back into the fourth quarter trading range.
That's awesome.
But like I say, I mean, to me, this biggest surprise is, despite this reversal in yields, it hasn't benefited anything.
Breath. Yeah. Other than quality.
Maybe that happens at a later stage. But interestingly, unlike in the fourth quarter of last year, where it was quite instantaneous.
Yeah.
Here, what seems to, it's got more narrow rather than expanding, which is.
No wonder. That was why I felt that XBI didn't work. I was surprised. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that is XBI. It was down 0.65, and the other thing that was down was ARC Innovation or unprofitable tech.
Yes.
So yeah, as far as XBI goes, the levels are still unchanged in that you've got the upper boundary of the trading range that you had through 22, 23, and you had that brief spark in February. So you've got two levels of basically 96 and 103 basically.
And if let's say the historical pattern holds, the XBI is about to rally, right? Above what point would it be? Would you chase it? Is it the first dotted line at 96?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be just, if you look at that first dotted line, your highs that you made in May, the highs that you made in June, it's pretty much at that level. So $96.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. That's the XBI. But momentum wise, is in the middle of nowhere, right? Middle of trading range, middle of the momentum.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of makes sense because you've just been range bound here, so you've got no real build up in momentum. So I mean, the point would be if you break above 96 and RSI is rising, that would imply a breakout.
No, I was going to thank you for two very good calls. I'll tell Daiichi and Eisai later, but it's okay. Can we go to XLV first, right?
Yeah.
XLV. Because I'm using this as the hedge. I wanted to be sure.
Yeah, so I mean, again, two things. I mean, you can see the clear current trading range, but if you just go a step back, the January breakout still gives you 163 as that upside target, right? And then obviously the current setup is support at 138, so resistance at basically 148, and we're in this range.
Is it going to form a divergence at 148, you'd think?
So I mean, I'll tell you what, I would be biased that because of the bigger breakout and you got 163.
Yeah.
I think ultimately you do break through that 148. So it wouldn't be sort of too cute. So, if anything, I would just be patient, and breaking above 148 and momentum confirming it, I'd buy it.
I see. No, because the reason why I'm asking is this is the lower beta stuff. I either hedge this or I hedge with the market.
Yep.
And luckily the market hasn't done that well. But it's okay. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Then I guess we can XBI we've already covered, right? Yeah.
No, I'm just putting it in here in relative terms. That's in fact, this is XLV versus XBI.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a lot of movement since May. So
range.
May into June, it's been very tight. It's been just below the 200-day. But that 200-day is almost a flat line, right? So I can't say there's been a strong underlying trend between XLV and XBI for the past 2 months. And if you look at it over the past 3 years, we're just below the midpoint of a very broad range.
Oh, okay. I see. This is got it.
So it's almost both of them are waiting for something to give. Either XBI breaks out and it outperforms and we see this relative chart, move aggressively to the downside, or XBI still remains range bound and Lilly keeps on driving XLV and it slowly breaks up.
I see. That's awesome. Great. Thank you so much. So maybe we go to Lilly, Novo, then Astra, Daiichi this way. Thank you.
Sorry, I know some of the systems reset some of these charts. So I have to redraw some of the lines. But Lilly's unchanged as that trading range breakout is still intact.
To the 900 point, right? Yeah.
Yeah. The RSI hasn't obviously matched the highs that you made in February, but it's still rising. So to me, I'd still be giving the benefit of doubt to the breakout and just marking that up again.
924.
Yeah, just over 924, just over 900.
That's awesome. Thank you. And then Novo? This one has been amazingly strong relative to
Well, it's interesting because it hasn't broken out as distinctively
did.
as Lily has. So, you know,
Yeah.
we're still battling with so it's been resilient, but it's been battling with this resistance zone. And unlike Lily, which is at momentum confirming it, you know, momentum hasn't picked up. And that's why we're still sort of battling to clear through this 940, 944 area.
944, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. That's Novo. Great. Astra, AZM. Oh,
So it's just
momentum confirms it though. Yeah.
lost its markings here.
Oh, okay.
So momentum confirmed the highs gain into this trading range. And now you've got this very narrow range. And, you know, looking at that, just zooming in, right? It does look like we should have at least one more break to the upside. And you get a 13,060 target. So, yeah, that's still intact. I mean,
Yeah.
I would suspect that you do get a divergence moving up to that 13,000 area. But it does look like it has one more push towards that point.
I see, but there's no divergence now, right? Because there's no new high.
No,
yet, right?
that's right. That's right. So, and we could break out and momentum confirms it. So you want to be giving benefit of doubt to the upside. And, you know, this looks like a neat trading range that we can break out from.
Yeah, okay, understood. Then Daiichi, this one actually has a divergence. I was gonna.
Yeah, so and it's been holding in that, right? So, well, there's two things, right? There's.
Oh, do you need to refresh this? Because it's down 3% today. I'm not sure if it's reflected.
I've got it down to 1.5. So there's probably a half an hour delay on my.
Oh, right.
Oh, I don't have live pricing.
This is a tricky one because I was trying to get it up to 6,500.
So remember the breakout from the
range.
bigger trading range, right?
Yeah.
Is still that 6,500 upside target.
Yeah.
The shorter term, we
Has a
have seen a
divergence.
divergence and we are pulling back. I think, like I've said to you before, you know, having some period of ranging above the old breakout area doesn't negate the 6,500 upside target, but clearly the divergence, you know, suggests that you need more time to digest this initial breakout.
Yes.
You know,
but where would be a safe spot to add? Is it the 200-day?
Right? Well, I mean, I think you got to think that's when the 200 days down at 44,400.
Right?
So the 50 day.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the way that I would think about it is, you know, from the support level that I'm highlighting here at 5,238, is that you actually be a buyer at this support area and a close below. The close below 50 is the stop rather than trying to wait for it to get to the 50-day because it might not get that far. Or if it does fall that far, it breaks the 50-day quickly and
yeah, you don't want to own it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Understood. Great. That's Daiichi. Can we look at Chugai 4519? Yeah. I'll just cover the key bets first. Yeah.
So this divergence is still in place. Obviously, we haven't really got any traction to the upside yet, but clearly downside momentum has been fading as over the past month and a bit. You've made marginal new lows and you've had no follow through to the downside. So this is still a cover short bottom fishing bar setup.
But it doesn't say how far is the bounce, right? Where to take profit. It needs to break through all the resistance, right?
Well, I mean, so the way that I'd think about, you know, from a chart pattern, that they'll call this a decline.
The Dow channel. Yeah.
Well, a declining wedge, and why I call it a wedge because the lows are only marginally lower. So, you know, it's wedging into a corner here. And what often happens from these patterns is that goes to the origin where it started. So if I had to give you my best guess upside target, it would be back to 5376. And you know, the 200-day, which is the green line, sorry, the 20-day.
Yeah.
Sorry,
it takes something substantial enough to break it up. Got it. Okay, that's awesome. That's Chugai. Then Lonza and Zealand. LONN and Zealand.
See what's happened to Lonza.
Yeah, side by side, yeah. This one was that day you told me, right? It bounced straight
Yeah.
back before I could react.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So let's see. You do have obviously this congestion zone as support there.
Yes. The safer one will be the lower line, right? But yeah.
Well, again, I
you-
mean, I think the lower line is your stop level, your top line is your bar level, basically. I mean, and it did bounce, but you know, yesterday it had a negative day.
yes.
Sorry, this hasn't fully updated. Give me a sec.
But the momentum has been pretty bad. It's broke. Has it destroyed the old trading range breakout? We were talking 600, right? Then since then it's gone one way, right? With Wuxi and all that stuff. Yeah.
Sorry, I saw that hadn't loaded all the data there.
Yeah. Oh, what's wrong?
Let me
Launch again.
I'll launch it again, but while that does its thing, I'm going to bring up Bloomberg.
Yeah. Oh, you have a preset for this. Okay.
So yeah, so that's that line that I drew, or the congestion zone that I drew yesterday.
Yes. What's the number? What's the just you hold
So
on.
this 463,
Yeah.
and the
okay.
bottom line is 446.
I see.
But this is, and that's why I noticed on that system it hadn't updated, because this when I
this is what you drew
highlighted
yesterday.
what I
Yes.
highlighted to yesterday is that intraday low that you made yesterday, the RSI still hadn't, you know, fallen to new lows. So it does look like 480 should hold.
Oh, right. Got it. Got it. And any bounce target? Still the red line above?
I mean, again, you just think about this corrective phase. The
Ah.
green moving average is the 50-day. That's the
515.
upper boundary. So that's 513
Yeah.
as your initial level. And then obviously breaking through that, you know, we're talking about, again, that 560
breakout
to
range.
580 area. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you. Then while we're at it, can we look at Sartorius SRT3 and then Zealand? Oh, is your other chart not
It's just loading in the background. So
oh, it loads the entire app, not just that chart, is it? Yeah.
yeah. So I just shut it down. Sometimes that engine doesn't work very well. So as far as the RSI, you can see that arrow is pretty flat, right? It's not at a strong angle. We have had a bounce, the 20 days acting as resistance. Yeah, we really need to break above 20-day, but then you've also got 266 to recapture that range there.
I see. But is the RSI worrying?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it is worrying in that the fact that this RSI, you can see the arrow's flat, right? It should be at least at a rising angle. So, and the reason why it's flat, 22.63.
It's 25. Yeah, 24.9.
Yeah, so I mean, it's marginally higher here.
So it might the low might be confirmed, right? Or
yeah,
it's really a tight debate, right?
It's a small divergence because that's 22 versus 24, basically.
That's why this stock hasn't followed the divergence rule at all. See, look at it collapse last night. Even though I know what the trigger was, it was Danaher, right?
Yeah. I mean, so here you could potentially get a big, you know, if you do make a marginal new low now, the RSI would be at a much higher level, so it'd be a cleaner divergence. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's awesome. That's good to know.
Yeah,
that's good to know. Yeah.
So again, I'll let this load in the background and
no problem.
Through. What was the? It was SRT3
Zeal,
and then the
Zeal, ZEAL. Yeah. This one's the tricky one because it looks like a one-way chart. That's where the trading range is.
Yeah, I mean, so this is, well, there's two things that I recall. One being the momentum confirmation at this high.
Yes.
And then 2 obviously being the trading range. So as long as we keep on holding this 584, it's basically 584. That intraday low is a bit low.
Okay.
But as long as we hold this 580 area, basically,
Yeah.
and you had a bounce off it yesterday, is that, I do think you at least retest the 750 area. So retest the highs.
And because I'm expecting big data from it, let's say if it breaks above, right? This data is
Yep.
worth a 15-20% move,
Right.
maybe even more. But let's say that happens. What do you think is?
Also, if it's just 15%, we just get back to the highs, right?
And then you sell it, right? Because
Well, I
is
would
it broken
imagine
out?
there would be a divergence there, right? But
Oh, yeah,
obviously, if
yeah,
you break through the top end of the range,
yeah.
that move is from yesterday's close, not from the bottom of the range. But if we do break out of
Right.
the range, I take the full measured move,
To 1,000.
and your rating's
Yeah.
just short of 1,000. Yeah.
I think that's what's going to happen, but I'm still waiting for the data.
Yeah.
This is very helpful.
Well,
But
I mean,
yeah,
at the very least, you've got a 780 targets, and
yeah.
depending, I guess,
Without information, without new
Yep.
info, it's
Yep.
looking at 780, right? Oh,
Yep.
that's very bullish.
Yep. Yep.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, again, you can limit your downside, so the risk reward here is at least sort of 3-1 in your favor.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great. And then now we can go back to our normal. I'm just gonna look at it. Let's do go
Okay.
Europe. Yeah. Roche GSK. Yeah. GSK is here. Yeah. This is the bizarre one.
Yeah,
Was it a divergence or not? And then there was an RSI at a high, right?
no, I mean this.
Like from
If I zoom in, right, you almost went from 30 to 70 back to 30.
yeah, we got a
And
lawsuit. Yeah. So is this a buy or a sell? I'm curious what the hell happened.
well, I would look at making one more low, as in
Yes.
basically testing the 200-day, the lows that you made in April. That then should set up a divergence. So at 1553. I would look for that divergence as an attractive risk reward entry point.
For a buy, right? Exactly. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's GSK. ROG. Yeah, that is on the right. On the right. Right. Yeah, that's right.
This
Oh wow,
breakout,
it's a proper breakout.
it's continued. So it had the initial breakout, pulled back to the 50-day, bounced off that.
Yeah, this one I can't buy. I can't bring myself to buy this
All right.
junk. Yeah.
Just don't be. I mean,
Yeah.
I'll tell you the upside target.
Wow.
So you're looking basically at 260.
And does the momentum say anything? It looks like a confirm, right?
Yeah. So momentum's rising with it, so it looks good.
Okay. SAN. What the heck's SAN? Oh yeah, here it is.
This is still just flat in that range. I mean, you did have a negative reaction yesterday, but as far as you haven't broken any major level.
Okay.
And
85 is a strong level, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yep.
I should cover it if I'm close. Okay, got it. And NOVN. It's right before it. Right, one tap on the left.
So remember, there's
This is
2 breakouts. There's that first one. There's the second one.
This guy's been crushing Astra, man.
So I mean, it's interesting that this is not a high momentum breakout. If anything, that's slowing momentum.
Yeah.
But
no divergence yet, right? Yeah.
That upside target is
98,
at 9.
97.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Is this what would it take to be a short? You need a divergence to form, right? At 98.
Yeah, that's right.
Got it. Okay, that's NOVN. MRK GY. There, 2 taps to the right. Yeah. Wow, this is your great call, man. I couldn't believe it that they beat Lonza, they beat Sartorius, broke out, right? Yeah. On no news.
I mean, this upside target is the 180 to 194. Yeah.
Ah, and is that a divergence there or?
There is a
It's
divergence developing, yeah. So it's similar to Nova that there's an upside target, but momentum starting to slow. So it's definitely not one to chase. You know, would I be aggressively shorting it here? Probably closer to 180. There's maybe a better reason, but yeah, I'd just be a bit more cautious.
Got it. That's Merck. Yeah, okay. Then FME. That's to the left. Yeah, left, further left. Yeah, about there. Yeah, that's FME.
We're back to that same old range and
This thing's so resilient. It's killing me. Yeah.
I mean, it does look like a funding short, but I mean, yesterday you did have a reversal, doesn't, you know, so upside definitely looks capped.
That's at the top of the trading range, right? So the
yeah, that's right.
Good, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful. Carl's eyes right beside it. AFX. Yeah, and then PHIA. Yeah. This just collapsed there.
So this is starting to become a cover short. The downtrend is losing momentum.
But that's not a divergence, right? Because not a new low, right? It's could drop quite a bit to get the divergence form, right?
What else? There is, you can see that was the momentum. This low here.
Yeah, but the share price isn't a low, no?
So it's not below this low, but it is for this downtrend, which is what the RSI is. So
it's for, right? Yeah, I get it.
yeah, I mean, can this fall to the next support zone? 7% lower, absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Would I be adding a big short here? No, but you know, if you are short into further weakness with this divergence, I would think of covering that.
And if it goes to the lower end, it's more like a buy, right? For a bounce.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that a divergence develops there, yes.
Yes, got it. Okay. Then ALC. Or actually PHIA is right beside. PHIA is just left of the tab. Yeah, then we'll go to ALC.
So this is the one that had the big gap up, and since then we've just been in this holding pattern. Now the upside target from this we met intraday on the breakout.
Yes, I see.
So I mean, to get if this breaks below 24, you can see this gap potentially being closed.
Oh, I will watch out for it. Okay, got it. ALC. It's the far right, yeah.
3点就关门了。3点就关门。是。对，3点关门了。
Wow.
So
is there a divergence?
Yeah, there is now. So you're into that resistance and you've got divergence now.
2点到3点关。
This looks good, huh?
This does look like at the very least to take profit.
I would love to short it. And it's been exceptional. I mean, for its space. Okay, I see. But anything else would give you more confidence to add to the short, or
well, I mean,
start a short here?
I mean, ideally you start a short here and you add to a short on a break below 79.44.
Understood. Okay, great. ALC. Sorry, one SXP is this thing here. It's a German name.
Oh, so this is a new ticker?
No, I think I've asked this before. It's a new IPO. One SXP space GY. SXP. Yeah. Funny, there's so few investable stuff in Europe. We can cover the ticker so fast. Yeah.
Europe's come under a bit of pressure too. I mean, the only thing that stands out technically is obviously the lows in November.
And is that divergent? No. Oh shit! This is really
22 point. They both at 22, so no strong divergence. No.
So you wouldn't be a buyer; you'd just be a cover short, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can again, I call it manufacturing a trade because you don't have the divergence to make it high conviction, but you can obviously use a close below 26.90 as a stop level for a bounce.
But you don't find the bounce convincing at all, right?
Well, it's a lower probability for me because you don't have the divergences. What you do have is a clear sort of risk management level or support level to stop you out should you be wrong that it doesn't
Got it.
bounce from here.
Okay, then that's great. We're done with Europe. Can we go to Japan? Just so I'm just gonna give you the ticker. Or let's say CSL first.
So it's still in the range. I mean, I guess if I had to do anything, because it's still range bound, you can use the 50-day as a stop level. And breaking above 290 would break you out of that consolidation pattern.
And it looks
And
possible
this-
now, right? It looks possible now.
And
Momentum's
this-
rising.
Yeah, and this essentially just takes you to the top of the long-term trading range, which is at that 300, 310 area.
Yeah, that's great. This is a bird flu play. Okay, CSL. Fujifilm 4901. And everything else is a short, really.
Yeah, I mean, this is still, you can see
Remarkable.
the 50-day still guiding it higher. This was the last breakout that you had, this trading range here.
Oh, what a small range.
Yeah, small range, but I think,
Yeah, and the
know, that-
momentum is solid still.
yeah, so
Okay.
3,823, yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's Fuji Terumo 4543.
谢谢您沟通的时间，然后想请问一下，
So straightforward on this one is that it needs to hold the lows that you basically got at 25.13.
就是介绍一下，就是你的那个背景啊，然后经历。
So that's a key support area. Remember, just to rewind back to this trading range here.
Yeah.
And why I want to go back to this one, because the breakout from this range still has an unmet upside target. But
Yes, but this has been so weak, it's been all macro driven. 3,200, right?
yeah. So basically you want to hold
This range, yeah.
the current support at around that 25 to
Even if
25.13.
it holds it, it doesn't give a divergence, right? It's still middle of the range, right?
Well, I mean, it could, if it comes down to these lows or makes a marginal new low
Yeah,
here,
it might
and the
make a
RSI
divergence.
doesn't, it might make a divergence. But
Yeah.
the the other point, there's no sort of big pickup in downside momentum, so it's getting close to that support area, and the RSI is above where it was back in April.
Okay, that's great to know. 7747. That's right beside it, actually. Yeah, right. Left, yeah, that's right.
So you can see there is support down at the 2000 area, basically, yeah. And you do have a divergence between the April and the May lows. So in addition to that slowing downside, it does look like the stock's trying to base out.
Yeah.
So this does look like a cover short bottom fishing bar setup.
And 2100 is actually where the first stop should be, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
got it.
That's right.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, then Takeda 4503. 4502. 4502.
哦，所以就是所有就是类似于那个玩具啊，然后之后
So very narrow range down here.
It's
And
good
you
to
can
know.
see-
I just needed a funding shot. Yeah.
Yeah, you see the blue moving average,
Yeah,
which is the
capping it,
200-day capping the upside. So
That's
it's a
awesome.
4,000 to 4,250.
Yeah. Okay. That's helpful. Then 4503.
So this one doesn't have a divergence, so it does look like this weakness that we've seen recently should test or retest the 1412 to 1440 area.
Oh, wow. Awesome. That's right. That's what I need. I just use this as a short. 4507. Oh, but let's say, sorry, on this name, if it breaks below 1424, right?
Yeah.
Then you were talking about a new breakdown range, right?
Well, I mean, it's not, it wouldn't
It might
be,
form a
there's only
divergence.
one point, yeah. So, I mean,
Yeah.
to me, this setup here is definitely a retest of the lows and then reassess.
Okay, got it, got it. Yeah. 4507.
So gap, big gap down, momentum still confirming the lows. Basically, this one from a long-term side, you can see the very broad trading range that you've had.
Yeah.
And, you know, this looks like you should retest the 5,600 area.
That's great as well. 4523.
但是它近几年就是感觉这些trading card 在中国也卖得很好，所以就是
Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
奥特曼这个 IP 在中国的定位大概是什么样？
Wow, this is a break of the moving average.
Yeah,
I
so
should have traded yesterday. Yeah.
and this trading range that you've got here.
Oh, right. Oh, no news. My goodness.
So, oh, well, failed below the 200-day, which is interesting. Also had the divergence into the 200-day, and then second point, this breakdown.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, this was the other one where like Daiichi, right? Oh shit, Daiichi could do this? Hmm.
Well, so the downside target's 5795. So
Same
retest the
somewhere.
lows.
Yeah, okay. That's good. That's ASI. Okay. 4528. Oh no. And then Otsuka, yes.
哦，不知道。
So there is a
Oh,
divergence
divergence.
here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be covering shorts in this one. I mean, the 50 days being the key resistance. So, you know, that's the potential bounce from the current
Oh.
divergence.
I thought you would use the April as the divergence.
Well, I mean, there's two, right? So
Oh, right, all right. That's
it
one and
is,
there's a
yeah.
But the more recent low, the more recent one, doesn't look like a divergence. It looks it's higher, right? The RSI is higher.
Yeah, I mean, it's again one of those that it's touch and go, but there
I
is
know,
still
I
a
know.
divergence here.
I
Yeah.
see. I'm just trying to. I'm not trying to be anal. I'm just trying to
No,
check.
no.
What
Yeah,
forms it.
you're quite right. So you know what wouldn't, if this thing had rallied up to 70 and come back down, then we wouldn't have a divergence. But the fact that the rebounds are still being below the 60
Yes.
area, you know, we're still dealing with the same trend. And you know, looking at the 50-day 2 capping the upside sort of reinforces that idea.
I see. That's awesome. Thank you. Then Otsuka 4578. Yep, that's the left side on this page. Left side. Oh no, as in yeah, see on the chart. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
So
Oh,
So
could be a buy soon, huh? Yeah.
well, yeah, bottom of the range.
And momentum
if-
won't confirm it, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that I would be just a bit more cautious that maybe this does get down to the 200-day and it
Oh,
breaks down from this tight trading range.
and if it breaks down, would you be a buy at a 200-day?
Well, again, if there's a divergence, yes.
Okay. But the last few times it held the 200-day except once in.
Well, you had an intraday move, but yes, the last 2 times you have bounced off the 200-day. So at the very least, you can manufacture a trade.
Okay, got it. That's Otsuka, right? Yeah. Okay. Then 7701 Shimadzu.
对，就是奥特曼，
that's the
因为
one.
您刚刚说就是奥特曼，就是真的是从小到大，就是大家都知道。
Oh,
So-
this was the shot you proposed. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah, so this is, I mean, obviously the broader trading range, but then we've had the breakdown here, and I still don't have a divergence. So, you know,
What
the
the
next
heck?
support's at 37.15 and the bottom of the range is at 3,500.
I see. And if you see a divergence, you'll be a buyer, right?
Yeah.
And was there anything to signal the last peak? There
Well,
was
yeah,
a
I mean,
divergence, right?
there
Very
was
marginal.
there was a divergence, and there was the resistance area.
Ah, okay. I should have shorted this. Okay, got it. I'm just trying to learn how to do this better.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Sysmax 6869.
It's always easier when we look back on it, right? And in real life, it's much
I
harder,
know.
right?
No, sometimes I actively don't act on it because it's a fundamental and I was wrong, like Daiichi, right?
Yeah.
What the hell? Okay.
哇，所以就是像什么迪士尼的，就是什么
Oh, there was a divergence. No, not really. That's a large divergence from the start of the year, right?
So this is a good example that there was a divergence here.
Oh
Then
no, I
the
was talking about
rallies
downside divergence. Yeah,
over here.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
So
yeah. Sorry.
this RSI was lower than the
Yeah, that's
this
right.
one.
And this is also just another example. You asked, which divergence you draw from. This divergence played out because the RSI got back to 70.
Yes.
So that didn't get a divergence. This rebound here did get a divergence with that last peak. And, this today's breakdown.
So this is a short, right? Yes.
Yeah,
you
this
can go
should
to.
trade back to at least that 2265 area.
Oh, that's so awesome. Okay. 7733. That's the last one in Japan.
就他们觉得就是再接上去就是可能用这个卡油。
This is the least respectful of the charts. What the
Yeah, well, this did have that breakout,
那
right?
就是想请问一下，就是今年
And it's
，it
met
ha-
it.
it has met the upside target now, which is basically 2700.
这个中国
There's
Is
still
it
no
short?
there's
Not
still
yet,
no
yeah.
divergence, right?
Ah, okay. I will check in with you. I don't want to
Yeah.
miss this one. I want to short this junk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, ideally, if there was divergence here, met the upside target, then yes, but this might just keep on squeezing a bit more.
But the 3000 is a formidable target, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is heavy overhead resistance.
Okay, but you need the divergence to form before anything interesting, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Cool. Then let's go to the US now. Merck, MRK, ABVV. Thank you. So, yeah, the next page.
嗯
Merck's the second one in the row.
Yeah, just waiting for it to load properly. There we go. So you can see the multiple divergences that have developed and pretty much a clear trading range.
Oh my goodness.
So you
Yeah.
top of the range to take profit again.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. ABBV.
I remember there were two things on this chart. One being
A divergence, huh?
the top
Oh,
of
not
the
really.
range. The
Yeah.
second was, the second was the bottom divergence here.
Yeah, it was so tight. I can't really tell that there's one.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
but
did
this-
have
Oh yeah,
that
yeah, there was. Yeah.
sub in there, and then you've had the bounce.
Yeah.
You've broken above the moving averages. Now momentum's confirmed this high.
嗯
You can use 20-day, 50-day as a stop level, which means basically right at this level and
180.
for a trade up to 180.
Yeah, where it will be a form of divergence again, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Likely. Yeah. Okay, got it. Vertex, VRTX.
Wow. So there's a point divergence in this RSI 80
There is,
versus
right?
7. Yeah,
Yeah.
80 versus 79.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And it's almost acted on point and dropped, right?
Yeah.
破单
So, but is there a level where you get back? That's the dotted line, right? 447.
Yeah, that's where the support is. And I mean, if anything else, the highs that you made here, which is at 457.
Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, that's Vertex. Okay, and then J&J and Pfizer.
I think those on the other screen. So we've been waiting patiently for the divergence to develop on J&J. It looks like we're getting it. So
Oh,
we're getting a marginal new low.
yeah.
Should set up a divergence.
Ah, that's good to know. I've always shorted this, but now it's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. PFE. I'm hoping that one is a short, but this bird flu is scary. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unlike Roche, PFE's rolled back and stayed in this range, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
And if we look at what happened,
Yeah, it was the divergence, right?
well, it's
Should've shorted
interesting.
this.
Well, I mean, I think you might get another chance to short it to the bottom of the range. Not that it's that massive, but
No, for
7%
big
down.
pharma is good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, 7% downside on breaking below the 50-day.
Did it break below or did it close above?
No, it closed on the 50-day, but my point here is that, you know, you had your divergence into the double top here on the 200-day is,
yes. And
you
then
know,
the
there's
200-day failed.
7%, yeah, there's 7% downside here on a break below the 50-day.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, PFE. BMY.
它是2024年夏天开始卖。
We're always pushing the limit of your computer.
Yeah, I think BMY is on this page here.
就是公司那边是说，就是感觉凯轩就像您刚刚所讲的，就是大家可能就是并不是不想要。
Now there's no divergence. You've had a rebound, and it looks like the downtrend's resuming.
Yeah.
That you should, you know, test and probably make new lows.
Good to know. I just put this back on short. Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So that's then Amgen, AMGN.
好像就是对比类似于宝可梦啊，或者
This looks like a short.
Yeah, so you failed. I mean, you've got overhead resistance. At the very least, you've got this new trading range.
Yes. But
I mean,
what I wasn't sure was that last spike, right? That was like momentum confirmed it.
Yeah. I mean, to me, as far as shorting it, I would short it on a break below that dotted line in the 50-day. So we're basically looking at 291.
So today is crucial, right? If it goes back
right.
up, it's different. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Okay, that's awesome. GILD.
If it goes back up here, then it potentially does get a divergence at 322, right?
Yes. I would love it too, but it looks like it's crashing already.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
GILD.
现在就是在您的。
So this is a cover short now. You can see the momentum lows through April, the rebound to 50-day failed, the new lows. RSI is not confirming it. So yeah, that to me is a cover short bottom fishing buy ahead of the $60 support zone. Johnson, sorry, you unmute it.
Oh, sorry, BIIB. No, it's not here. A different tab.
So we're landing up being wedged between 50-day and 200-day. And then longer term, there's this much broader trading range. But you can see one very simple thing, breaking above the 200-day would also break that downtrend. And at the very least, you know, you've had that trading range between 50-day and 200-day for the past 2 and a bit months. That would get you to an upside target of 265.
But did it break out of that?
So it hasn't, but it is testing the level, right?
I see. And would you be what would take you to short it if it start rescinding a downtrend? Right?
I mean, I think well, two things. Like if we fail here, right? So let's say it tries to break today and it fails and it rolls over.
Yeah.
You know, you will have a divergence, right? But then you can use the 200-day as a stop level.
Yeah,
but looking at yesterday's close and the fact that you made a higher low relative to the May lows, it looks like it'll try and break out. It may be a false breakout, and the breakout may not come with momentum. But if I was looking at anything here, the risk is for an attempt to break out at least, and then the next thing I'd look at is, you know, around the 260, 266 area.
Okay, got it. Okay. mRNA.
就是今年就是奥特曼不是又有新的
Momentum confirmed the last
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
And this looks like, you know, classic little triangle or pennant pattern
就是想知道说
that you have another push to the upside.
就是实体店会不会也配合，就是会
So I suspect that you've got, you know, push towards the mid 190s.
195. Yeah,
Yeah.
got it. Okay. That's very helpful. Then we go to ISRG and SYK. Should be in this
是
tab.
在国外上面，不过就是这对
Ooh,
So definitely not here.
strange. Yeah. Yeah, SYK is the top left. You can go there. Yeah.
Yep.
Although I can't find ISRG. Oh, it's going to the top of the thing.
So this should have, remember there was this very small base that it broke out of here.
哦，不过现
This
在
should trade back
对
to
那个是在美国
358.
上的
But the
And the-
momentum, yeah.
Yeah, then we reassess for the momentum.
Okay.
对
ISRG.
对，
It should be in this tab.
Here it is.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Interestingly, the momentum confirmed the breakout here.
What?
So you've got
Oh,
an
but it's a
upside.
small.
Yeah, so 460.
461.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then BSX.
到期
I can see the first alphabet now. Yeah, that's one here.
So, I mean, I know it's been resilient, but it hasn't seen momentum confirm the highs for the past
Mm.
month and a bit.
对
So
对
that's more of a take profit for me.
Got it. Okay. Then ABT. This one is the tricky one. Very debated name.
所以就是也不会觉得说
Bottom left. Yeah, yeah. The left. Yeah, that's the
任
one.
何就是销售。
See, it's
Probably
gone up
see-
and then failed. Oh,
Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't divergence at this low. Obviously, it wasn't divergent this high. So it does look like it at least retest that 100 to 99 area again.
Oh, but it's part of a big trading range, right? Yeah.
Well, I mean, there is a broader trading range, but maybe on a retest of 100, you might get the RSI at a higher level
Oh,
and you get another trade. But yeah, that's not high conviction.
I got it. Okay, that's ABT. BDX. Oh, Dexcom's there as well. I see. Right in the first row. Yeah. Yeah, I found BDX, but yeah, let's go first. Oh, this is interesting.
So,
Sticking to the 200 day.
but it looks like we could be breaking below that 200 day.
Yeah. Just keep
yes.
testing it, right? Yeah.
Yesterday we closed below it, right?
Yeah,
The RSI is still falling. And your next support zone is basically these old highs at 96.
Yeah, and it's doing this despite the XBI or the rates better, right? Which is unbelievable.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I mean, again, like I showed you earlier on, that seems to be a the way the market's behaving rather than just this space, right?
Yeah, so this is more of a short, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't feel like the 200 day is a strong hold, right?
Well, it looks like
broken.
it's looked like it's breaking, and the fact that I don't have a divergence.
Yeah,
You know,
I'll
sort of
check
red
again
for-
tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's INSP. Below, one row below and left. Yeah, that's the one.
So it didn't quite get back to the lows here, but there was a small divergence on that bounce.
Is there a divergence? Oh, small
Yeah.
divergence. I see. So not a high conviction anything, right?
Well, I mean, I'd probably test the moving averages. You know, that's where it gapped down.
Oh, okay. I see.
But obviously not a big pattern at all.
Yeah, okay. That's then now we go to TMO and DHR.
应该不会因为就是 今年有去，然后今年
After such a big move, it doesn't register on the chart at all.
Well, I'm gonna,
Oh.
I'll zoom in so we can see.
I know. It felt like ages or a big move.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It was an intraday reversal yesterday, but
Uh,
look, we one have a much broader trading range, and then two, there's a smaller range that's
Support
developed
there.
in the upper half of that range.
yeah, but either way, it's a
Yesterday,
short, right? Yeah.
well, at least the funding shorts, it's around that 50-day, so it's
Yeah.
not doing too much.
And if it gets to the upper end, the 609, then it's a proper short, right?
Well,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that momentum doesn't go with
Yes.
it, right? Yep.
Got it. DHR?
So I'd be inclined to short this one here. You've got double top, you've got
Mm.
divergence, and breaking below the 50-day should take you down to 233.
Even though I don't know what happened last night, until now, we're still trying to find out what happened. Oh, okay, that's the divergence. It's a tiny one though, like
Yeah, I mean, it's
3
the,
weeks
just the,
apart.
it's the two peaks. So yes, it's a small pattern, and that's why I would only think that it trades down to the 200-day.
All right, all right. Then it gets
So
interesting
that's-
again. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah, so 200-day, and not only that, but you've got this small low here.
yeah. Okay, got it. Then Agilent, right? If you close this, yeah, minimize. Yeah, that's right there. And then IQVIA.
So again, quite a few of these have this sort of quite messy but broad trading range. You had a divergence into this high here, which you had the reversal.
因为我也看万代，就是在万代的所有的
哦
这些管具手办，
Yeah.
就是他们有
But is
So
this
now-
a divergence again? Oh no, it's lower, right?
No,
商品
you would need to,
Retest it.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's Agilent. Okay, IQVIA,
这
IQV.
样这样子去，大概
It's probably got a little bit more downside to go before it sets up a divergence, but it does look like it trades down to 200.
Okay, that's great. Sorry, one ticker, VKTX. This is another obesity wannabe. Yeah.
It looks like it's broken down and momentum's still confirming it. So it looks like it trades
Oh.
back to the 200-day.
了解，那就是商
哦
品的 SKU 来讲，以上应该是最
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
relook at the 200-day view.
Yeah, okay, got it. And then UNH.
I think this one sits in that quality index that I
Yeah.
showed you earlier on.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's nothing, it's in the middle of the range. This
Nothing,
one
yeah.
typically gets to the top of the range divergence. So
At the
where it
bottom,
sits
you
right
buy
now,
it.
it's,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
where it sits right now, it's no man's land.
Okay. Can I quick name in China, right? Let's call it 1177. And then 2269, yeah. Oh yeah, I see 1177 on the left row.
Oh, yeah. It's got to load before I get access here.
But
So
this is-
you can see the markings that I had left previously.
Yeah, triple bottom.
This is a support area that we're trying to hold. I mean, as far as upside momentum, it's non-existent.
Yeah, but it's dangerous to short it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, no problem. I know time's up. We will just call it a day here. Thank
Okay,
you so much.
all right.
Have a good weekend. Thank
You too. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.